Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Good evening and welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I always got room around my table for you. Tonight, I've got a spectacular, super awesome guest for you tonight. She is going to blow your socks off. She's an incredible speaker. She's a show host. She's a leader. She's a mentor. And she's been recently honored during the Women's Day. And so I want to share a little bit with you about my friend and soon to be your friend too. A little bit about who she is and what she does. You've probably seen her here. She's been just incredibly welcomed and honored in so many diverse places. And if you don't know her tonight, you are going to know her. Not only has she been honored on so many stages, she also sings. And so I'm going to play a little bit of this song for you so that you can come on in and get in where you fit in. Here you go. So many of you may not know that I love country music. So guess what? Not only does she act, she sings. Yes, she does. You don't know this, but she doesn't know this either. Country Roads is one of my famous ones, and I love country music, and you should too. Take me home. Yes, I love it. So, folks, I got to tell you, I have been so fortunate to have this young lady on my show. You are going to love her too. So I've showed you a little bit about what she does and more of what she can do. She's a singer, she's a speaker, she's an author, she's a mover and a shaker. And if you have not met my guest, this is where you want to be tonight. So go ahead, tell a friend, tell a foe, but bring someone and tell everybody you know about this show. Now, I see a lot of you streaming in already. Hey there, I see the Money Doctor from Texas. Hey, how you doing, Money Doctor? All right, I see some folks streaming in. Medea, good to see you. So happy that you're here. William Horser, hi, all the way from the UK. Oh my gosh, good to see you, William. Good to see you. So come on in. Remember to like, share, and start a watch party as we get into this broadcast. Now, I'm going to tell you this, just in case you don't know, so you know, get your pad and get your pen, because we're going to be talking about how to start a business, how she's overcome in her life, and what you can expect to see from her next. And I've got some tidbits for you you're going to love. So come on in. Go ahead and tell a friend as I bring my guest on in. And as you get ready, we're going to get ready too. Be right back with you. Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Hey there. This is my guest, Miss Annie Koshi. Good to see you, darling. How you doing?
Hello, I'm well. How are you, Lotus?
I'm doing great. While you were backstage, I was playing a song that I really love, and many people don't know that I am a country buff. I love country music, and I had the wonderful pleasure of sharing this.
Oh my goodness.
I hear her voice in the morning, calls me. Radio reminds me of my home. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country
I love it.
roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong.
So if you didn't know, now you know. She's a superstar, she's a mentor, she's a coach, and she's a singer. But tonight, she's here especially for you to help you ignite, take flight, and step into the next level of your life. So Annie, I'm so happy to have you here. So thankful I was able to share this song, and I know you didn't know I had that. So surprise.
It was like, oops. I have to remind myself of all the things that I actually do post out there and that it's public.
Yes. So we know that you are a wonderful thought leader. We know that you are a media personality. We know that you were actually a part of the International Women's Day hosted by Mela Singh back in 2018. But we don't know so much more about you because you're so incredible. So can you share a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I think that's like opening Pandora's box. Who am I? I think I'm human. I'm you, I'm me, I'm every other empowered woman. But I didn't become who I am today just overnight or just because I snapped my fingers. It's been a long journey. It was really a pivotal moment when I finally decided to step into my real purpose.
Mhm.
But I think that that little girl who was there with the big stars in her eyes about wanting to be whoever she was, that had those big dreams, that little girl has grown up, and that little girl is me now. And I went through this period of my life where I had almost lost that girl. I didn't know who she was. I didn't recognize her anymore. And her voice had been suppressed. And that's the difference with who I was and who I am today. And I think this is a journey that a lot of us find ourselves on, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're a young person or someone in their middle age, that we find ourselves often doing things or reassessing ourselves, our lives, and where we have reached, and finding ourselves perhaps not where we had envisioned ourselves. And that's where you have to really take stock of it and see if you want to make those changes. And for me, I really did want to make those changes. And so I did.
Awesome. Now, a lot of people don't know of your home of origin or much about some of the struggles that you've come through. So we're going to talk a little bit about the struggles, but what we want to know is tell us how you came from your home of origin here to Canada. I think you're in Canada right now, right?
Yeah.
And how you became the badass woman that you are. So let's talk about your home of origin and then lead us to the badass.
Sure. So I am of Malayali origin. I'm from a state in India called Kerala. It's in the south part of India. And in fact, I was born in Tamil Nadu, which is in even south. It's the southernmost point in India. And I was born there because my grandparents were stationed there. And my mom had me at that point there. And at that point, my parents actually migrated to the US. My dad was doing his doctorate in mathematics, and I was left with my grandparents. So they raised me until I was about 4.5, 5. We moved to the US. I moved to the US and joined my parents. My brother had been born. And a little while later, we then migrated to Canada and decided to make Canada our home. So we moved from Boston to Toronto. And I basically grew up in a city in Toronto. And then in my high school years, moved up to a suburban city. So one of the satellite cities of Toronto. Did all of my education from there, went to high school, went to university, and pretty much all my life was there. At one point in my life, once I had gotten married, I had moved back to India, and I lived in India from 1994 till 2009. And that was a really crucial part of my life. The initial adult stages of my life occurred while I was there in India. I had both my children in that period of time. I raised my kids with my partner at the time in India. And in 2009, we decided to come back to Canada. Becoming that badass woman really today is a culmination of all of the things that I've gone through, which is touched upon in my film, which we're going to talk about later on. But I think that we all have, whether you call it superwoman, whether you call it ninja, which they've anointed me as with that term, or you call it badass, which is my book. I think we all have that as women within ourselves. It's just a matter of peeling away those layers. Those layers could be multiple things, Lotus. It could be societal pressure. It could be family obligations. It could be various things that cause us to have our voice be muffled. Mm-hmm. And what you're seeing right now is the back cover of my book. And this is just, it's hot off the press. And so this has been released. So the book is titled How to Be Your Badass Self, a guide to using your inner energy for brand success. And what is inner energy about? Like, people ask me, what does that mean? What is being badass about? Badass is really having the ability to speak your true voice, being able to confidently speak it, to have the consciousness of what you are wanting to do, and have that as you go through the book. It's really working towards bringing that in alignment with what your brand is about. So people often separate themselves from their brand or from their company. And my message is that you can't do that. If you do that, you're not actually being true to your voice. You're not actually being true to the message of what your voice is. And that's really what your brand is about. And so that has to, in order to build up authenticity, in order to build up trust, you have to have a congruency between what you're saying, who you are as a person, and what you're projecting. And so the book is a journey from the beginning, which is from you, to the external, which is how you are seen by others and how that applies to your brand and your vision.
Awesome. So the badass is really being able to embrace your vision and walk in your passion unapologetically, because I realize that a lot of people they want to apologize for being who they are. They want to tell people, oh, I'm so sorry. I know I'm speaking my truth, but just excuse me. But what I'm hearing you say is that, you know what, you've got to speak your truth, and it's all right, excuse me, to be a badass.
Right. So badass really we're referring to your confidence, your assertiveness, your discipline, your perseverance, your control, your self-discipline, right? These are all components that actually form your ability to be, to walk into a room and have that confidence to do what you need to be able to hold those presentations, to be able to have a voice maybe in a group of people that perhaps you would normally not have the ability to be assertive. How do you develop that? How do you learn to be at ease with who you are as a person?
Right.
That's a question that a lot of people struggle with. right? That's a question that a lot of people don't really take a good look at. And then they notice there's something different about people who actually have been able to do that. What is perseverance about? And why does one situation that happens to someone seems to break them, and at the same time, someone else goes through a similar situation and they are successful or they thrive in spite of that situation? So how do you thrive when there's chaos around? How do you maintain self-discipline and control when things don't go the way that you're intending them to? A prime example is that we had a call yesterday and we were doing a presentation, and during the presentation, notice the call had been hacked, and a number of wanted people got on it and started to, control some of the slides and what was being displayed. Now, amidst the chaos, to maintain control and be able to make sure that your audience is aware that everything is okay, we're handling it, and at the same time rapidly thinking about what's the next step and what do we do now and who's got a slide, and doing and processing that in split seconds is what we're talking about when you call it ninja or badass. It's about being able to, amidst chaos around you, have the calmness inside you to be able to handle those things. If you look at the characteristics of a character like a ninja in Japanese culture or shinobi, they were considered to be extraordinary. They were almost considered to have superhuman powers. And why? Because it wasn't that they were just good at one skill. They were good at multiple skills and were able to seamlessly go through those as though it was effortless. And the reality is that they would hone those skills by practicing it for months and years to be able to get it. Whether it was that they looked like they could walk on water or vanish into thin air or hear the footsteps of someone walking or a pin dropping on a wooden floor in a room next door, these were skills that they honed. What does it mean to be badass today for a modern woman? Or what does it mean to be a ninja in today's modern world for a woman or a man, really? It's about being able to pivot. COVID-19 has put us into a situation right now, Lotus, that has really caused chaos in everyone's life. And some people are coming through it not unscathed, but I would say landing pretty much on their feet now. A couple of months into it now, people are getting their rhythm into place, right? But people have not been able to at all. What set them apart, right? What has set them apart? Several hundreds and thousands of people across the world between the ages of 30 and 50 or 55 have lost their jobs.
Yes, they have.
Right? So what's happened is if you've been in an industry and been at a job for a long time and you've not touched or honed or upgraded your skills, you're finding that when you've lost your job right now, you're not able to pivot and adapt to the times because you've got a huge learning curve in order to become digital.
Exactly.
We have a whole bunch of people who were not really on board for social media. They were not on board for social media marketing. They followed the old systems and things that were in place, and they followed age-old practices. What's ended up happening is that the world has gone digital. We've all of a sudden moved from the restrictions of countries and parameters of countries and taken businesses global. Because a digital platform no longer means that you have to be in the same vicinity to be able to be participating or getting services. So those who have made those pivots, those who have made those changes, those who have been able to hone and upgrade and continually grow their skills are the ones that are actually going to be able to get back onto their feet and succeed and grow. And yes, there was a bit of a hitch. There was a bit of a bump in their road. But I would see that those individuals are starting to realign themselves. They're starting to put their courses and things back online.
Exactly.
The ones that are struggling, Lotus, continue to be the ones that deny and are hoping that we're going to go back to a pre-COVID era. And unfortunately, you know and I know that that's not going to be the case.
No, it's not, because the before COVID and even right now in COVID, it's going to be like a yesteryear.
Yeah.
So if you want to overcome where you are, you've got to find ways to reinvent yourself. That's a discussion that I had earlier with the double dynamic duo of APSO. You got to be able to recreate and reinvent yourself, because at the end of the day, if you are not badass enough to recreate yourself, you are going to get left behind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very important, I think, that whether for me, I'm a lifelong learner. I've always been that way, Lotus. I think that for me, absorbing knowledge and being able to understand the world around me and how it works has been something that's always fascinated me. I've always been someone who's been interested in learning and being able to acquire knowledge. Sometimes I may not need it for the thing that I'm doing at the moment, but I know that there's a lot of latent knowledge in me that I have been able to use in other areas, and been able to, those transferable skills, whether I was in a teacher role, whether I was a database administrator, whether I was teaching choir, whether it was that I moved into media, I'm a radio host, I'm a TV host, I'm a on stage host, I'm an internationally awarded film and commercial actress. So whether it is any of those roles, there are certain skills that I've been able to use within all of those things. The main thing is to be able to articulate and communicate in an effective manner and be able to express myself in a way that makes sense to others. So knowledge, the acquiring of knowledge has helped me in being able to move seamlessly between the roles. And I think that this is something that a lot of people would benefit from, is a component of what I talk about in the book, which is communicating effectively, right? And what.
So let me stop you there. And the reason why I got to stop you there is because you are giving so many fabulous nuggets. And I always ask my viewers, make sure you have your pad and your pen. If you don't have your pad and your pen, you need to pause and go get it, because I'm going to ask her some other questions that we have that's going to help yourself move to the next level. So while you're going to get your pad and your pen, Annie and I are going to take a sip. And I've got some water. Annie, what do you have?
Oh, I think I've got something that shall remain nameless.
Root beer. So
all my health freak friends are going to be like, "You're drinking what?" It's my only vice. Let me have it, please.
Just one. So we hope you went and got your pad and your pens. And while we're waiting on you to get your pad and your pen, if you haven't gotten that yet, Annie, we're going to take a few comments, because we've got folks streaming in from all over the world. We've got William here. He's all the way from the UK. So thank you, William, for being here with us and joining us. And we're going to make that a little bigger so we can see you. And he says, keep up the good work. So thank you so much. Medea, good to see you as always. She says, hello, my beautiful Lotus and Annie. So excited for the show. We are excited for the show and super happy that you are here. And of course, Medea knows that you are the ninja. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, we've got the miraculous, the money doctor, Mr. Dexter Sadler. Thank you for joining us all the way from Texas. And of course, we've got Annie doing double duty, making sure she's sharing her stuff with folks. And of course, the director, the movie director himself, and creator, Les Owen. It's great to see you, Les. Always love to see you. And Robert J. Moore, great to see you. Don't forget the Magnetic Entrepreneur Success Summit that's coming up this weekend, folks, on the 6th and 7th of this month, which is this weekend. Don't miss it. Get your ticket if you haven't already. And hey there, Angela Elting joining us all the way from DC. Great to see you. Farron, good to see you. Nice to have you here with us. Now, folks, I'm going to be asking Annie some questions, and don't hesitate to chime in if you have some hard questions for her. Don't make it easy. And Phyllis Weaver, all the way from North Carolina. Good to see you. And Annie, Phyllis said she loved the song. So fantastic. Samaria, good to see you, Samaria. So happy that you're here. Nikki Hammer, always a pleasure to see you. Let us know where you're joining in from. And folks, if you have not liked, shared, and started a watch party. Go ahead, like, share, and start a watch party. Like, share to show you care, and start a watch party. So I want to thank each and every one of you for making your comments. And if you're making comments now and I can't see them, go ahead and click that button that allows me to show your comments. And don't forget, hearts and thumbs for that algorithm. So we're going to get right back into our discussion with the remarkable Annie Koshi. She is a media personality. She is a thought leader. She's an international woman. Okay, we're going to say that because it's the truth. And she is, as you guys saw earlier, she's a wonderful singer. But most importantly, she's here tonight on the Lotus Richey Ignite show to help you ignite and take flight in every area of your life. And so she's talked to us a little bit about her new book that is, I think it's out there now to buy. So you want to make sure you buy it, and you can hit her up at these locations and get her book on how to be your badass self. And yes, how to be your badass self. If you don't know, now you know how to be your badass self. So we talked a little bit about how she became her badass self. And now we also talked about a little bit of her hardships. And we all have hardships. All of us do. Pardon me. So let's talk about mentors, Annie, because I know that you mentor a lot of folks. I know that you always share your stories when you're mentoring folks, and you always get them to the next level. So the question is why do great mentors, and I always say this, great mentors need great mentors. One, why do great mentors need great mentors?
Well, I consider mentorship like a sport in which you can't improve your game. You can't improve at anything if you're not playing with someone or learning from someone who's better than you. I don't mean better than you in a bad way. I mean that they have something that they can share that you can learn from. So for me, it was so important to put the right people around me who were going to be able to grow my mind, who are going to be able to fill it with the things that I needed at that time. So the mentorship over the years has changed. And I think that the two people who have made the greatest impact in my life, really for the last several years, but I know that their impact has been significant. In fact, it's almost like I've known them all my life, is someone by the name of Satish Verma. He is the CEO of the Think and Grow Rich Institute here in Canada. He's the rights for the amazing masterpiece Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And so the foundation has actually licensed Satish Verma to be able to teach that, and he is a leading expert in that book, really. And because of that, I came across him, and I actually asked him to mentor me. And I'm very grateful for the fact that he mentored me. That was the first step, really, in breaking some of those mindset blocks that I had, the scotomas that I had in my mind with regard to my own growth and things that I had experienced. And it was a time that I really let go of things that were not in my control, things that I had thought were causing me to behave or react in certain ways. He really helped through his teaching and his coaching and his mentoring to help me change my mind on a lot of aspects. The second person who's been such an amazing influence in my life has been Dr. Obam Bowen. And this is a man who we became friends immediately. I've known him over a year and a half now. And I would say that it did not take even 30 seconds for him and I to really hit it off. And then for the longest time, I thought this man was too good to be true. There's no way someone could be saying and speaking and doing all these things. There's no way. So I did my due diligence. I hovered and I watched his profile and watched what he did, and I listened to what he was saying, and there was a consistency about what he was saying. There was a consistency not only in regard to what he was saying, but also with regard to his actions. For me, it's very important that someone who's saying something also proves it to me in the form of how they behave with other people, how they behave on multiple platforms that they may be on. It's one thing for them to say something in front of an audience that they've paid to come and watch them. And then behind the scenes, or when you see them on the side, they're not as humble, they're not as grateful, they're not as approachable. They have airs about themselves. And I've seen people like that. They profess that they're great coaches, they profess that they are mentors and speakers and whatnot. But when you actually see them away from the limelight, away from the cameras, and in an everyday atmosphere, they sometimes don't come through. And I've experienced that firsthand. So with both of these individuals that I mentioned, the main difference has been that both of them have actually walked the talk. And I think for me, that has been crucial in determining if I wanted to keep them in my universe as mentors and guides. Playing the game or learning from someone who's better than you means that it steps up your own game. It's just like a tennis match. If you play game, and I was a sports person, someone who enjoyed sprinting. I was a swimmer. I went right up under lifeguarding and badminton, table tennis. These are things that I really, really enjoyed. So I'm competitive. So these are things that I understand. So in the world, in a time when we've got so much happening around us, and there's so much people around us, Lotus, who are saying different things. Having the right people around you who are going to help mentor you through points of crisis in your life. And I'm not talking about personal crisis, but I'm talking about even mental crisis when you have to make pivot changes. You need to have someone who's going to be in your corner, who's going to give you the advice, and it's not vested advice. What do I mean by that? Vested advice is when someone is saying something to you, but they have their own agenda. They are coaching or training or leading you to a path in which perhaps they're asking you to purchase another thing. Perhaps they're asking you to support their mission or their vision in some way, financially often. And that's not what a good coach really needs to do. A coach needs to be there for you regardless.
Right.
I coaches, Lotus, for various things, whether it's finances, whether it's mindset growth, whether it is with regard to even my own branding, my accountability partners. I have my own mastermind groups that I'm involved with. Each component, each coach or each group helps to shape and shine up a faucet of my personality. You can't put all your eggs into one basket. You need to share it out so that you're getting that mentoring, you're learning from multiple people, and you're able to continually grow into the person that you're really, truly supposed to be.
Yes, I love that, because growth is super important, especially in this day and age with all that's going on. And I got to tell you, earlier you mentioned that one of your mentors is a great gentleman that I know he's going to be on a wonderful platform that's coming up here really soon. And I want to see if I can get this up here for you guys. Satish Verma, he's the president and CEO of Think and Grow Rich Institute. He'll actually be on the upcoming summit this weekend, the Magnetic Entrepreneur Upcoming Summit, Business Success Summit is what it is, on the 6th and 7th of this month, which is this weekend, along with Jack Canfield, Kyle Wilson, and a whole host of other speakers, to include myself. And I got to tell you, it is unequivocal that if you don't have wonderful coaches such as the Mr. Satesh's and the Dr. Obam Bowen, and of course I know Dr. Obam Bowen personally myself, and I've actually been on the phone with both Annie and Dr. Obam Bowen, and I got to tell you, you have to have wonderful mentors, because the mentors help you grow. They help you do cognitive analyzing of what are you thinking and why are you thinking that. So wonderful. We all know, and many people need great mentors, need great mentors. So thank you for sharing that, because it's super powerful. So I've got some comments. I want to definitely take the comments from you. So I see Medea saying, exactly. Amen. Amen, Annie. Preach. And then we have Joycelyn Powell all the way from Patterson, New Jersey. Hey, Joycelyn, good to see ya. great to see you, actually. And Wendy, hey there, Wendy, good to see you. Another remarkable author. Wendy, let everybody know where you're coming in from so that they can see where you're coming in from. So it's great to see you. And if you have not shared, liked, and started a watch party, please make sure you share, like, and start a watch party, because Annie Koshi is on the box tonight, and she's giving out a wonderful ways to help take your life by storm. In the midst of the mess, you can change it, because life is just like chess. So with that being said, Annie, I know we're asking you some tough questions. You're really sharing a little bit about your struggle, how you became the badass author and the badass woman that you are. So the next question we've got for you is, why is it important for women to recognize or to be recognized in business?
Right. I think everyone requires recognition. I think everyone deserves to be recognized for the work that they do. But I think often that women, especially those who are ambitious, have to work doubly hard often to get to. I feel very strongly that all of us should be our own life navigators. I think that it's very important that we be, instead of relying on someone else's GPS, we often get in the car and we rely on the car's GPS. We have forgotten the ability to think, okay, this street is this far, this has had the distance there, getting onto a map and calculating, because we have a GPS telling us, turn right here, turn left there, go 50 meters there, and plop yourself down. And that happens with life as well. Whether you're a young person, you're told, perhaps because of culture, because of community, because of parental expectation, whatever it is, do this, be here, go there. As women, when we often find ourselves in relationships, we put our own desires and needs aside first for our partners. And especially I'm talking about women who come from an ethnic background like where I'm from, and many other communities in which the women have a different role once you are married. It's changing, but not rapidly everywhere.
Right.
Also, it dependent on the person that you're marrying. So not everyone has the same mindset. But from my own experience, from the women who are in my community, I know that often many of them have put aside their real passions, their real desires, their real wants and dreams, so that the family benefits better. And then come the children. And so the woman is then relegated to the role of mother and caregiver and wife and a daughter-in-law and all of these roles. But her vision to maybe be that scientist, to be that astronaut, to be that person gets put aside, because that role wouldn't be helpful if she's doing all the other things. Something has to give somewhere. And what gives often is the women's ambition. And so why is it important to give women the individuality, the desire for them to actually succeed in life? And why is that important? I think when you empower women and girls, you're going to have an empowered society. When you have an empowered society, not only do the women benefit, the men benefit. We have both genders living off of and feeding off of the positive energy that comes from both. When you put one person, one community, one society down, my heart breaks today when I see that.
Yes.
Today, I have to speak about that, because I would be remiss if I didn't say something in this platform, on any platform today with regard. I had to put a post out. There's so much suffering going on in the world, right? And why we as men, and I'm talking about men and women, we are doing it to ourselves. We have caused this chaos and this angst in this world. We have caused this damage. We have caused this pain. It's been a result of greed and lust and politics and selfishness and insecurity, whatever lacks you want to call it, right? So whether it's women here in the US, whether it's women in Canada, whether it is someone across the world somewhere, I think that our voice is starting to make impact. I think that it is becoming recognized. It's not where it needs to be. Women still have to work doubly hard to be heard and seen and recognized. If you look at of women who hold senior management to heading companies, it's a lot less than men. When I look at, I was just appointed as the executive vice president, Lotus, for a for the Indo-American Press Club. It's a North American-wide press club that has the largest number of Indian diaspora media. And we have chapters all over Canada and the US, and our reach is really global. But I have to say that I'm one of the few women who are in the senior realms in that organization, and it's a significant journey, really, to be appointed there, because that the positions are usually held by a lot of men, right? It's always been, if you look at media, it's always been a men's sort of club, whether it's film, that sort of thing. So women in film and women in media and women in senior positions in management and women in heading companies, entrepreneurs that are doing well. Even if you look at the network marketing space, the women it's the women who are the most successful. The women who are making the greatest impact, right? So women have turned the tide. And what I have to say is that we can't do it on our own. It can't be women. We have to be equally supported by the men, and we have to equally support the men. I think that our journey to the top is not a race to see who's going to get there first, but rather a journey together and helping each other, so that we're giving that hand to lift up and mentor and bring up when we need to, and then reaching out our hand to be lifted up when it's needed as well. So
I concur with you. And I want to pause for the cause, because if you agree with what Annie is talking about in what she's saying, and particularly put a 2, not a 3, a 2 in the comment block below. Put a 2 in the comment block below, because it is unequivocal that it is important for women to be recognized in business. Because if we don't stand up and first and foremost, recognize one another, we are going to be remiss. Why? Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? And not only should we recognize one another, our counterparts, our male counterparts, should and must recognize us as well. Many of us have heard of the glass ceiling, where women go and work for these wonderful companies. But what happens is the companies turn out not to be so wonderful. Why? Because women make significantly less money than men. And oftentimes they're not invited to certain levels of financial wealth, if you will, within these companies, because they are not a man. And so today we're talking about this, because we're not men bashing or company bashing, but we're talking about the fact that women have to move more into business and also be recognized for the quality and the capacity of what they can do with their brain and not their body. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and take some comments. Phyllis Weaver said, yes, we have to take charge of our lives. So true. Women do tend to put themselves last. And so we wonder why people put themselves last. I think sometimes, Annie, it's because oftentimes we're conditioned to be that way. And I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, because of our culture, or just sometimes because of how we engage in society. And Dana Priyanka Hammond said, yes, I agree. And I'm going to slide right down here, and I'm going to take this message from Samaria. Annie Koshi is one of the most caring humans I have met, who takes care of people and natures selflessly. More power to you, Ninja. Love from India. So we've got India all the way in the house. Good to see you. We've got Medea all the way from Canada. So great to see you. And I'm going to take a comment from her as well. She says, wonderful women like Annie and Lotus are paving the way for women to rise up and be heard. Blessings to you both, and also blessings to you. We appreciate you for all that you do. And if you have not liked, shared, and started a watch party, you need to start a watch party, because it's getting hot in here, and we're not going to turn the fire down yet. In fact, we're going to turn it up, and we're going to turn it up with Phyllis Weaver's comment. She said, so true. I'm glad that things are gradually changing for the better. I see I agree. I see some twos. I love it. I see a lot of twos streaming in here. Naylam Ra, good to see you. Happy to have you. Naylam, go ahead and put in where you're coming in. And I'm happy that you love this and we love you too. So if you're coming in, come on in, come on in. Come in and get in where you fit in, because I've got a wonderful guest here tonight with me. She is a media personality. She's a thought leader. She's a speaker. She's a mentor, and she is a businesswoman. So if you're joining in, come on in and get in where you fit in. But also don't forget, get your pad and your pen and write down some of these nuggets so you can win. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back with another question for our phenomenal guest, Miss Annie Koshi.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
So welcome. For those of you that's just joining us, I have the remarkable Annie Koshi here with me. She is a magnificent thought leader. She's a media personality, and she has a wonderful new book out. If you don't know, if you haven't heard, what are you waiting for? You have got to go and get this wonderful new book. That's what I said. Get this wonderful new book by Annie Koshi, How to Be Your Badass Self. And tonight we've been talking about how to be your badass self. Why are we talking about this? Well, if you are struggling, if the COVID has knocked you down and you're trying to figure out how to get back up, well, guess what? We're going to help you tonight be your badass self, because Annie Koshi is on the box with Lotus Richey talking to you, helping you to be your badass self and recreate yourself amid the COVID if you need to. So we've talked about a few questions of how to kind of recreate ourselves and why we need mentors. Why? Because great mentors always need great mentors. We've also talked about why it's important for women to be recognized in business. But now we're going to move into talking about platforms. Why is it important for women to be on platforms to speak and be heard by other women and have women be inspired by women? So, Annie,
wow. This is my favorite question. But I'm strong. I'm a person, I'm not a feminist. I'm an equal opportunity person. And so I don't think it's just women. I think that everyone should be recognized. Everyone needs a platform. But speaking about women, why is it important that we encourage each other? Is that there's no need for that competition. There's no need for us stepping on one another to get to the top. There's enough room on the top for everyone, Lotus. There's enough room.
Yes.
And the vision is so beautiful at the top. You know what? You're so much more empowered when you're able to harness the energy within each of us to help each other grow. You know, I always look at now when I come across someone who is not as kind-hearted or as serving as they could be, it comes not from a lack within you, it comes up from a lack within them. It's not that you've done something wrong or that your message is wrong. Often when we find people who come across our path and they are not as, maybe their viewpoint is not as healthy, maybe there's the way they're saying something or their mindset is not where yours is. Maybe you're not at the same level, you're speaking the same language, yoked with the same sense of desire to grow and learn, whatever it be. As women, what we can do is just be there to encourage, be there to support, have a mindset to serve others without expecting or demanding or requiring anything in return, right? When you come from that, you'll realize that you get back 100-fold more than what you have ever thought possible.
Exactly.
And when I've helped people, they may not be the ones that have helped me back, but I've had an army of people come and help me on the other side when I've needed help. This is a universe's way of giving back to you, right? You don't need to count those blessings. You put blessings out, the universe will really, really give you an abundance of that blessings coming back. And then I'm a firm believer of that. You know, I come from a very Orthodox Christian background. And I grew up going to, you know, church every week, and it was part of my culture, part of my community, in our house, whatever. But as I grew into the woman who I am today, I realized it doesn't, you know, God's not up there asking you, are you Hindu? Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? Are you Anglican? Are you Catholic? That's not God doing that. That's
Nope.
man, that's man doing that, right? That's man putting the restrictions on. That's man deciding that these are the rules, these are the restrictions that we have, these are the things that we have to do, these are the, and we as people, we conform to that. It's societal rules that conform. So as women, what do we need to do? We all around the world are facing the same things. Women, we have the struggle that we have to have our voices heard. It's not just here. It's not just in the US. It's not in Europe. It's not just in Malaysia or India or Pakistan or any of those countries. It's everywhere. So whether you speak English, whether you speak Dutch or French or Portuguese or Spanish, as women, you can understand the cry from them when they need that support, when they ask for that help, when they need to be edified. What is edification about? It's about empowering someone and building them up so that they feel good about themselves. Sometimes those small positive words that you say to help someone will be a breakthrough moment for them.
Yes.
And
you are so right.
That is the most important impact, that as I've developed a platform, as I've had opportunities open up for me, as I've had speaking engagements and radio engagements and coaching and training engagements, and I've moved to a global platform now, and the opportunity to be on interviews like this where you yourself are empowering me as a woman, and then this is being seen by other women. My desire is really to be able to give back and open doors, as many doors, use the leveraging and the access that I have in my powers to be able to help other people so that their paths are helped. It's like pass it forward, or what is it? Pass it forward.
Pay it forward. Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. And, you know, you don't need to stand on any platform and ding your bell to say you're doing this, doing that. After a while, people are going to see it and recognize and acknowledge you. I do want to say one thing, Lotus. One of the things that you had mentioned, my book is actually not out yet, so it's pre-orders right now. It's not hot off the press. The only thing that's hot off the press right now is a back cover. It's being laid out in such a sexy format. Oh my gosh, Lotus, I can't wait for it to come out.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get it. I know it's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And since we're talking about why it's so important to have platforms, I remember I was on your page one day and I saw that you had liked this quote, and I want to share this with you folks, because this is really a great quote that was on her page. It says, if there's even a slight chance at getting something that will make you happy, risk it. Life's too short and happiness is too rare. I love that quote. And I wanted to ask you, what about that quote by A.R. Lucas made you just put it on your page?
I have been working on mindset for a long time, almost 30 years, Lotus. And so for me, even as a teacher, when I was teaching in the IB school system, I would walk in and the first thing I would write on the board was a quote. I always started my mornings that way, and I would have the kids, my students, actually talk about it. Why this particular quote? You know what? We always put off what we could do for today, right? And I don't have that mentality. When someone comes to me with something, I do it right away. Life is too short. Life is too short don't wait for the funeral to send the flowers, they say, right? If you're going to come to my funeral, you're going to bring flowers, send them to me right now because I can appreciate it, right? I'm not going to be appreciated as a dead person. So send them to me right now. You appreciate me, you care about me, I love flowers, so send them to me.
I love it.
It's about taking those risks. It's about doing what you need to do to make yourself happy. Don't wait for someone to make you happy. You have to find happiness within you. If you're looking or seeking for happiness outside, you're never going to be happy.
Nope.
Right? So surrounding yourself with happy people will help you in some ways, but if you are unhappy, surrounding yourself with the happiest people is going to make you sometimes even more miserable, right? So find a balance within you that's going to be giving you that happiness. Why take the risk? It's risky when you like someone and you have to step out of your comfort zone and say, I like you before they say anything. But risk it. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say, well, you know what? You're a great friend, but I don't really like you that way. Right? But then you pine away and you hope and you pray and you think and you dream and you all of that. And then 5 months later, you still haven't gotten to the point where you've said, I like you. Right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Get to the point, communicate your feelings, tell the people you love them, who you love them.
Yes.
Speak your heart, be authentic to your voice. So whether it's a difficult conversation that you have to have with someone, I have those conversations. Whether it's someone who, for example, on the other, a couple of days ago, wrote me something in Messenger and called me hun. And for me, that's a red flag. And it's someone that I don't know, someone who had reached out, someone who is significantly younger than me, and from a community in which they don't address an older woman or man in that sort of term. And so I immediately, my hackles rose. And I said, you can please address me as Annie. And I said, I don't appreciate being called that. And so he goes, oh, I call all my family and friends that. And I said, but I've just met you. So I'm not a friend and I'm not a family yet, right?
Exactly.
And so it's about having those difficult conversations, right? And saying exactly what you feel and exactly what you mean. And as women, we often have a hard time speaking our mind. We say, yeah, okay, sure, and actually mean no. So it's okay to say no.
Yep.
Right.
And see, this is the thing, Annie. Women need to see it and hear it from women, because for so long we've been taught, really from a child. I've always heard people say that children are to be seen and not heard. And if you get my upcoming book, Quebrando Barreras, that I co-authored with 12 wonderful authors with Annie, not with Annie Koshi. We already authored a book together, Magnetic Entrepreneur. And we also set Guinness World History, just sharing that with you, but with the remarkable Rosemary Sanchez and Miss Exani. She is amazing. I talk about that fact in the book, that we often say children are not to be heard. They can be seen, but not be heard. And I think sometimes women subscribe to that and we lose our voice. So it's super important that when we have the opportunity to have wonderful mentors like Annie Koshi and myself and so many other folks that are actually on this call, I would say seize the moment. Because you never know when the moment is going to come again. So you've got to seize the moment. And talking about seizing the moment, I like that you put this on your page as well, because it really doesn't start from the outside. Seizing the moment, loving ourselves, being the I am that I am for ourselves. It starts with us inside. And so I love that you have this on your page. And this is I am. So if you are challenged, if you're feeling unsure about yourself, I want you to make the choice in your own I am, and choose love. Absolutely. Choose peace, choose clarity, choose rawness. And that is where you stand up for yourself and say no if you need to say no. I choose honesty. I choose happiness. I choose kindness. I choose myself. So I love that. Go to her page. Is it Quasim Chahan? Go to her page and get this if you don't have it.
I think, all of these things are sort of a culmination that happens in my movie that's on my life, Lotus, that we speak about later. Really that we have two options in life, right? We can be afraid of things and have fear hold us back, where we forget who we are really as individuals, whether it's man, woman, young person, older person, it doesn't matter. We all have these things. Or we can face things and we can rise. And so the movie Fear is really about face everything and rise. We all go through challenges in life. Not a single one of us has been escaping scot-free from all of this, right? Like there is so much that we've all experienced, and there are pivotal moments in our life, milestones, both positive and negative, that have happened. And so what a lot of my quotes, a lot of the work that I do, a lot of the mindset coaching that I do was with regard to the fact that we are whole within ourselves. We are our own planet within ourselves. We don't require someone else to fill us or to fulfill us. We don't require someone else to be the other half of us. You are a whole. And as a whole, you have a journey to go on your own. We have come here as spirits, or we come here on this earth as light beings, right? And so in our human form, we have a journey, we have a purpose. That is our own individual journey or purpose. It doesn't mean that when you combine it and you are now joined with a partner or a spouse, that your journey has to be now forgotten. You continue to journey on your own, and you come together for those beautiful moments, spend those beautiful moments, and go apart again in your own journey and fulfilling your own path and desire. Now, if we acknowledge that, then when we are in a relationship, we wouldn't have that expectation that that other person has to give up everything for me, or that I have to give up everything for them. Right? If we're equally yoked to thinking that whatever I do, whatever I'm thinking, how would that other person think and feel? Let me do it for them. And if you're constantly doing something for the other person, how beautiful our relationships would be, right? Then you're constantly just thinking about that other person and thinking and doing things that would make that other person happy, right? And so this is the journey that I'm talking about, whether it be women, man, whatever it is. Face the things, speak your truth, be authentic to yourself. These are the things that I have learned in my journey that come reflected in the words that I say on my wall, in my teachings that I do, in my everyday mentorship. And the reason why, for me, serving someone else and helping someone else is a fuel that helps me energize myself.
I love it. I love it. And we've got some comments, and we're going to take some comments. Want to say a special shout out to Daisy all the way from Georgia. Great to see you. Nalam said, light brings and light leaders. Yes, yes, yes. Light beings and light leaders. So, we all should be focused on the light that we bring to the earth plane. And when we focus on that light that we have within, and really focus on sharing that light, it just makes the world a better place. And then no one really gets left behind, because we're all trying to help each other move to the next level. And Phyllis Weaver, she said, wonderful conversation, beautiful ladies. Well, it is a wonderful conversation, and I'm so happy to have this conversation. We're at the top of the hour, and guess what? We've got a special treat for you, because not only is Annie a speaker, she's a mentor, she's a teacher, she's an author, she's also a star, a movie star. And so what we have for you tonight is a special little treat. We're going to take a quick break. And also, really quickly, I saw Mr. Vince Grassi, the director of This Town Won't Die. He's here with us. Good to see you. Good to see you. So happy that you're here. And we're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to show a wonderful movie. One of the first movies that I think Annie did. Annie, I think it was My Bloody Mess. Was that it, or something like that?
A Bloody Mess, yes.
A Bloody Mess. Okay, so we're not going to get a bloody mess, but we're going to see a bloody mess. So you guys stand right by, because we're coming right back, and we're going to start off with A Bloody Mess by Annie Koshi.
Welcome to the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you, so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
So if you've not heard and if you've not seen, I've got the wonderful Annie Koshi with me. She's a thought leader. She's a speaker. She is just the top of the top. She's the creme de la creme, but also she is a movie star. And here's a little trailer teaser for you of her movie, A Bloody Mess. We hope you enjoy it.
Dear Papa, I wanted to tell you this, but I couldn't. Something really bad. I have cancer. I am dying. I'm going far away. I just wanted you to know that I love you and Vicky very much.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. So we know that movie came out when, Annie?
Actually, it hasn't been released to the public yet. It is
What?
it's doing the festival circuit, and the director Asi Seifi has done a phenomenal job. So, A Bloody Mess is really about beginning the dialogue about the topic of menstruation, and it's a topic that is really taboo in many cultures, many communities that don't really talk about it. It's a subject in which people find difficult to raise in everyday conversation, even with their children, right? And so the movie, which is an 11.5-minute short, is actually making huge impact as a social awareness film around the world. It has won several very prestigious awards, as well as placements in film festivals to be screened. It is actually the latest two that are really important. It won a Remy at the Houston World Fest, which is an important festival. And that was actually, Lotus, one of the festivals that several very prominent directors won their first awards, George Lucas for one, for example. And so it's a very significant festival for a young budding director to receive an acknowledgement, because they're screening top films from around the world, so that the fact that our film got viewed and it got won a Remy, an award at it, is phenomenal. And the second thing is that this film has been chosen as one of only 2 Canadian films to be screened at the New York Film Festival. So that is, again, another significant. Imagine that an 11.5-minute movie is making this type of impact. It's been seen in Australia, in Italy. It has been screened at festivals in San Diego, in Florida, right across several states as well, and around the world. And so that was a significant film for me. I was playing the mother, the lead character in it. Maria Crystal, who plays my daughter in that film, has done a phenomenal job, and so have the other actors in it as well. The team on a whole, one of the most ideal teams and crews that I could have worked with. Asi Seifi and her sister have done a phenomenal job in directing and producing this film. That actually led to what I think you're going to show next.
Yes. So if you don't know, now you know. Not only does she have one movie, but she's got another great movie coming out, and you've got to see this one. And this one is called Fear, Face Everything and Rise. And this is the official trailer. Let me make sure I've got this.
That we can do anything we want in the world. Life and everything is a possibility. And every single one of our dreams will become true. We can be that princess or the Superman or a firefighter, whatever it is. We have imagination and we have the ability to think that we can conquer the world. But as we grow up, each disappointment, each pain that we experience, each thing that doesn't go our way, in which we've become hurt, causes us to shrivel up a little bit inside. Now, it could be that other people tell us what to do and we're forced to listen to them. But if you keep doing that, then you proceed to die a little bit inside each time. And you lose that voice, that innocence, that desire to dream. Looking at my life, I see that there's a long way to go for success. I still see hills and valleys, twists and turns. I've had a lot of challenges, and I've had to make a lot of difficult decisions along the way. I've stood at difficult crossroads that have defined my future life. I needed to sacrifice things that I truly loved to achieve something bigger. I had to find the courage within myself. This is my real story. This is not just the tip of the iceberg. This is the whole me. My losses and pains, my despair and defeat. It's not easy to tell, but this is the life millions of other women live every day.
So if you like that, and if you want to support and go see it when it's released, go ahead and put a number 4 down in the comment below. Put a number 4 down in the comment below. You know what? I know so many of you are so happy and joyful to see this powerful movie. So I tell you what, once this movie comes out, we're going to bring Annie Koshy back to our show, and we're going to talk a little bit about this wonderful movie, because as so many of you have said, it is powerful. The titles are remarkable, and it will touch your heart. And yes, it may even jerk a tear from your eye. So we're definitely going to have her back on this show so we can talk about her wonderful movie that's coming out. You don't want to miss this movie. Fear, Face Everything, and Rise. So Annie, I want to thank you because we have gone past the top of the hour, and we try to always stay within the hour time frame, but you have been so remarkable and so many comments. We've got so many congratulations, so many 4s. I just want to say thank you. Phyllis Weaver says, wow. Medea says, wow. And Dana Priyanka Hammond says, bravo on your film. And also, I want to get back to this right here because it is powerful. They love the title, so we know it's going to be a smash hit. And we want to say thank you all because we see you saying great conversation. And yes, it's powerful because we must be, light beings and light leaders. And that's what we want to do here for you today, just to be light leaders and just to help you help yourself move to the next level and ignite and take flight. So with that being said, I want to ask Annie, what else do you have going on? You've got the movies, you've got the book, you just got so much going on, and we want to know more before we go. And I know we can't get it all in all at one time, but I know you've got some more stuff going on. So tell us what else you've got going on.
I'm so excited. One of the biggest things for me has been to take my vision and really have an opportunity to put it onto a global platform. And what's crossed my path in the last 90 days is a company that's been able to do that. So I'd like to say a shout out to my team, to my family, and to the people who have mentored and guided me. But I'm part of a platform called Asira, and it's really making a huge impact globally. Asira for me is not a business. Asira for me is a lifestyle. Asira for me is surrounding myself with people who are like-minded, but not just like-minded, growth-minded. And so what's the difference? It's people who are equally yoked to see me succeed as I am yoked to help them succeed. And so when you surround yourself with people like this, then you are going to succeed. There's no way that you will not succeed, especially when you have the guides and the mentors and the systems in place that are going to help you succeed. So Asira has really been making a huge impact. It's a new company. It allows speakers, coaches, trainers, anyone who's got a message or a voice to be able to put it onto the platform, but also earn an income. What happened, Lotus, for me is that when COVID-19 happened, as a media personality, as an international model and an actress, as a radio host, an events personality, all of my gigs dried up. I'm a professional photographer photographer. So I haven't even
Right.
talked about my professional photography. That's what my tagline says. It's I'm an artographer, and what that is. All of that dried up. COVID-19 ground to a halt the entire media events industries, really,
Yes.
in terms of bringing income and media. But what I mean is the entertainment, the film and the acting, the commercials, the shoots. I had a I had a web series that was lined up.
Hmm.
I had shoots that were lined up. What ended up happening was all of a sudden, this company that had already been in existence, I had already come on board, started
Hmm.
to, instead of take a side income sort of role in my life, became center in my life.
Right.
And COVID-19 happened, I was able to dedicate a lot of my time and effort into learning and understanding and growing in this company. What a phenomenal growth it's been, not because of it being a business. I'm saying that the people that have I've been learning from in the last 90 days, if I did not have them around me, Lotus, I swear for you that I would have been in a different mental state. It's not easy living alone and not having people
Yes.
to talk to, not having physical human comfort. I don't know of any other time in our life where we have had to isolate ourselves, where we look at another human being with fear, where we look at interactions with human beings as forbidden or
Yes.
unwanted. It goes against our human nature to be like that. We are creatures of comfort. We crave affection. We crave touch. We need that human contact. You know, right now a trip to a grocery store is like stepping out into a war zone. You don't know what's going to come out. The
Yep.
enemy is really something that's it has no face, it has no voice, it has no persona, and yet it's there.
Yep.
And so we found ourselves in a situation that has added mental strain to already topsy apple cart for a lot of people. Combine that with the financial insecurity, combine that with being confined in a small space with young children, perhaps. Combine that with the insecurity of knowing perhaps your job is gone, your spouse's job is gone, but your bills are still there. All of these traumas that we've all gone through in these 90 days, all of us have experienced the same thing. But I'm telling you that instead of waking up in the morning and filling my mind with news and negativity and sadness, I was uplifting myself, surrounding myself with people who were growth minded, who were positive thinkers, who were taking proactive action into taking their vision and their mission and putting it on a platform. I've had the opportunity to coach on a global level. My presentation, which is called How to Harness Your Inner Ninja, is
Hmm.
really talking about the characteristics that you need that I sort of mentioned about at the beginning of this call, which is the confidence, the perseverance, the control, the self-discipline that you require in order to be ninja-like in your modern day sort of existence. And so this platform, Asira, has given me that opportunity. It's something that I think everyone should be involved with because it has actually returned investment to me in terms of what I invested into it. But more than that, I have received 100-fold in returns for what it has done in terms of surrounding me with really amazing, amazing people. So I'm grateful for that.
So I want to take this time to say thank you for sharing that information about your new company that you are a phenomenal part of. And I want to take this opportunity to share it with the rest of you so that you can become familiar with it, especially if you're a speaker or an influencer or author. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Annie Koshi, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you about why I feel I should be on the Asira platform. Well, I'm an international model actress, but that's not all the hats that I wear. I have been a teacher. I was an international IB English teacher. I moved back and was a database manager for several companies, and then finally, why media? When I floated my company in 2016, there was a real need within the Toronto community, Indian community, for the media within the community to be able to talk with each other. I was already a professional host, and I found that the people that I was working with, for one,
program or event or festival often weren't in communication with the others. And therefore, my company initially was floated just for media. However, I've really quickly realized that there were a number of other aspects that were people who were in another number of other fields who were not communicating either. That was arts and entertainment. And so my mission opened up to include those who are in the arts and entertainment field. And then I went through a huge change in my life. I decided to leave a marriage that was not growing. All of these little things helped to shape me as a person. By 2003, I knew that there was something within me that was very different than what was happening with my marriage. And I was finding that I was at crossroads. And it took me 13 and a half years. And it was only in 2016 that I actually had the courage to finally put my foot down and walk away from something that wasn't growing me. But the time period from 2003 to 2016 was very, very crucial. If I had not gone through those hardships in that time period, I don't think I would be the person that I am today. I don't think I would have the courage to speak my voice today. And I don't think that I would have the facets of my personality that make me the badass person that I am. From 2016 till today, the 4 years that I've spent in building my company, I went from someone who didn't have a company at all to right now being recognized and acknowledged and someone who's well known on multiple levels, especially here in Toronto, but also on a global level. I am acknowledged for my work as a host. My voice is used in a lot of ads. My modeling work is seen all over North America. I have been interviewed on podcasts in Europe, in India, and in North America. And I would say my biggest blessing is that I finally was able to take all of this knowledge that I have in me about branding and marketing and put it down in the form of a book. And I'm so pleased that How to Be Your Badass Self, A Guide to Using Your Inner Energy, is a book that is in the process of being printed. I've just approved the final manuscript and it's off to the press. And I've already got tons of people who have pre-ordered it. So I'm really grateful for that. But that has also been just one milestone. The other one was I had in my list of things that I wanted to do, I wanted to be on the screen.
So, wanting to be on the screen,
Yeah.
wanting to be your own woman, because that's really what this is about, being your own woman and having a platform that you could step into. Sarah helped do that for you, in addition to all the other things that you've done. And now we played that little clip for you because I was hoping that there would be some moments in there for so many of you that you could continue to hear that story. And as you heard that story, I saw so many of you say, wow, encouragement and membership and mentorship. And so she's not stopping there. She's moving on. And if you want to get to know her, if you want to be a part of her movement, how can they reach you?
So the best way to get a hold of me is on one of my social media pages. You can find me on all of the different platforms, Instagram. I have 2 handles. I think, Lotus, you have a screenshot that you can show with all of my handles and things that they can write them up. Whether it's on LinkedIn, on Facebook, there are several pages. Just Google me under Annie Koshi. My websites are there as well. So if you go to my websites, my contact details are on my website as well. But just reach out to me. Let me know that you saw me on Lotus Richie Ignites, because that's very important. And let me know that you heard what it is that I was saying here. But I strongly suggest that if you are someone who is a coach, author, speaker, you have a business that you want to put onto an online platform, you have content, you want to be a content provider, or you are not working right now and would be interested in looking at a platform which is actually bringing back a great income, then you should get in touch with me. Just hearing the story right now, you'll know that I'm involved with a lot of things that have really changed my life. And what I'm working on right now is helping change other people's lives. And that for me is the biggest movement, I would say, Lotus.
All right, fantastic. So, if someone could ask you, what has been the best part of your life in the past 3 months? And we've been stuck in this COVID thing. What would you say was the best part of your life?
I think right now is the best part. I don't live in the past. I don't worry about the future. I live in the now. And so for me, every single moment that I have, that I'm healthy, that I've got good sound mind, that I have friends surrounding me, that I have family that love me. I live in the moment, and I'm so happy to have those moments and to be able to continue to um, be as grounded as I am. I think I'm grateful for the small blessings, Lotus, that I have. Um, COVID has hit us so bad that so many families have been affected. It doesn't take very much to get sick, and I've remained healthy throughout. And healthy in mind, healthy in body, healthy in soul, and that is a huge success. So um, I'm graced by God that I wake up in the morning happy. Even if I've had a struggle the night before, even if I've gone to bed in tears, I usually wake up the next morning happy, because I realize that when I wake up, that itself is a blessing. Waking up and having that morning itself is a blessing. Being able to do things on my own in a safe space, that is a blessing. I'm in a country that is empowering women, that allows us to be as we want to be. It empowers us to be able to live to the best and healthiest lives that we can have. And so that is a blessing. And if every single thing that I have in my life, I consider it to be a blessing, there can be no moment greater than the now, right? So
Yes, that's awesome. So you have heard it from the remarkable Annie Koshi. You've heard her sing, you've seen her do a little acting, you've seen her speak, and I got to tell you, she has ignited us here. And we have so many folks that are saying amen. Robert J. Moore, he said, I'm finally just getting over the COVID. And of course, we are coming through in the now. So thank you so much, Annie. We love you to life. And don't forget, folks, when her book hits, make sure you get that book. You won't be disappointed. And don't forget to go see her movies. She's going to come back when her movies drop so we can talk about the impact that it's had on our viewers. So with that being said, we love you to life. Always remember to ignite and take flight. And
welcome to the Lotus for Shay Ignite Show. We are here to inspire and empower you and ignite the fire of success within you so that you can ignite and take flight in every area of your life.